Hey, beautiful ones. I'm Audrey Language. I have been doing this work since before 2012 and 2013, and I was here and I was talking about my work. I have clients all around the world. I was reading messages to all of you. I was sharing a lot of the things that people have come on board and are telling you now. A lot of it was not very popular. People didn't want to hear it because they were used to the same old. And what I was talking about, they didn't want to hear. But now people are beginning to understand those things. Years ago, when I first started, I was telling you about it be a huge tsunami that was going to come in, tsunami of change. And if you did the works, you would be more in resonance with that. So it wouldn't seem as if you were thrown into a cold body of water. That example is like a shock to your system. If you did the works, it would be as if you waded in. So you would be more adjusted, right, when this tsunami of energy and change arrives. Those who did not, it would be a huge shock to their system, as if they were thrown into a cold body of water, as if there's such a shock. So there was an example of that I had given. So all these years, I've been doing work with people on their DNA, also to upgrade it, to release what needs to be released from their field, energetic shackles on their consciousness, help open their hearts, also generational work, because it is also about through the DNA what you have generationally carried with you. So releasing the generational things as well. So you also help your generations in both directions when you receive this work. I have people around the world that I've worked with, and all they can say afterward is wow, because it is so powerful, so beautiful ones. I just want to read a message for all of you that I received and give you an opportunity to know I have four, I'm very booked, so I have 4 spaces left because the new year is going to be coming, right? 2023. So it is time in October, November, December that you can get yourself together and do some of this work. Also, it's not working only on your this life, but your other lives, your other aspects, your multidimensional aspects of yourself as well. This is for you to stand in your power. I've always been telling you, this is not about every other being that you're looking for, whether angels, masters, galactics, your star family. This is about you as you travel through creation. For your sovereignty, your divine birthright, your power as a God being embodied, an aspect of the divine who is here holding their light in this time that you have come in this place. There was much darkness and forgetting and sleep, to assist them to end that and to wake up from that. So you also need to tend to your essence as the lighthouse to keep you strong. Your essence is your soul's signature. That is very important because it speaks to what you are and where you shall find yourself as you traverse creation. I've also have in old messages told all of you, it is the time of the great divide. Pick a side. I've also told you about as in time, all time is one time, and we come from a future point back to its past, which is our now and the present, to affect change, because the old future outcome didn't work out very well with AI and the transhumanism agenda, which they destroyed the natural biological, and we couldn't change it from going forward. So we had to come back to its past, which is our present now. Why have we embodied? No coincidence to be here to hold that light for ourselves and for others as well. And as we pull the plug on the experiment that years ago I told you was experiment, right? An experiment to be part of. The experiment was a game of duality, density, forgetting, sleep, polarity, right? So to end that. So beautiful ones, besides having that opportunity I have 4 sessions that you can, whoever's interested can connect with me at hummingbird1211@gmail.com. Let me know that you want that session. And we'll speak light language. I also speak the language of the Akash, which the language of the Akash is not to read it, old libraries, because we want to clear from what we don't need any longer in the Akash, so we can raise our energy, expand our consciousness, right? So that's the way we can write new Akash, new books of life, because we're here to seal the old books, get out of that looping and stagnation, Also beautiful, I do number work, which is a sacred key code. I deliver numbers, which is the language of creation, because regular languages have been contaminated. So we want to move beyond that, right? So the numbers hold the highest energy frequency to assist you. And then you have them as a tool, your own numbers. It's not 3 or 4 or 12 numbers. It's quite a list of numbers, which then you can, besides receiving the work as you write these numbers that I deliver them to you, you are going to have them as a tool that you can read over. So that's why you can use them and you apply the energy that they hold in your life. So beautiful ones. I'm going to read some messages for you. Oh, also, I want to let you know I'm doing a 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12 again, doing some works before the new year. And if you would like to take part in that, you can get the recording link so you can listen to it over and over again. The recording link, it's going to be, each one of those calls is $35. So it'd be like 105 total if you want all three of them. And you'll be able to listen to them over and over again. Again, connect with me at hummingbird1211@gmail.com so I can know that you want that. And then my website, audreylightlanguagechannel.wordpress.com. You go to the contact page, you roll past the waterfall image, there's a donate button. So that's way you can, do the exchange fee. So you can get the link and you let me know through connecting through the email that I told you, hummingbird1211@gmail.com. So that's way then I can send it over to you. Okay, beautiful ones. I'm going to read something new for you. There is so much going on, so there's a couple of different messages that I want to read for you. But let's begin with this one. It was 8:35, and since I work with numbers, that's 16 when you add it up, which 6 and 1 is 7, which is truth. So truth, the process. Sorry. Let's see. Okay, the process, the reveal of the revelation. I have told you continually that you are the pillar of light. And as that pillar, you are that which is the pillar that supports the new that is being built upon you. I've told you, you are part of an experiment of creation. I've told you it's the times of the pulling the plug on that experiment. I've told you it is the sealing of the old books and the writing of the new one. I've told you it's the time of the great divide. And make a choice as to which side you're on, because your energetic signature, your frequency will be by and through what you and where you'll find yourself to be in the new or not. I've told you your heart is the key and the key that opens the way for you. I've told you this is your evolution and the evolution of the consciousness field itself. I've told you this is for creation to know itself as all that it is. And through and by this reveal has come the revelations about itself of what it is. And it's been known through the reveal, been made known through the reveal, the what it is not, yet it is, because it has revealed what it is and what it is capable of, when it is in forgetting of itself, and what it has brought forth as creations, versions of itself, that is an altar to what it is. What it is not is still what it is, because it has been revealed. It revealed itself, that which is within it. And that is what was needed to be made known so that it could be purged. You've heard about time of the purging, yeah? From within itself. I know we talk about as above and below, below is above. We talk about that within ourselves to do, but we are part of the all that is, aspects of source embodied. So this is the source's story, as creation's story, the field of consciousness story, experiences that we are all part of. And so creation's purging, the field of consciousness purging, yes, from within itself. Do you get it now? It is the purging of the fields of creation, what has been made known, so that it can be cleaned up and be no more. The density, the forgetting, the lower expressions that exist off of another of itself, parasitism, off the light to sustain itself, that it has no access to, and that is only a copy, when you are dealing with AI, of what is already in its natural biological states of turned on DNA, functioning as a means to experience a physical experience. So as to go from the energetic unmanifested states to manifested. That's what we're doing, right? Creation, that was unmanifested, energetic, etheric, to become into the physical, right? Lightening up the density of the physical, bringing the heaven to the earth, right? Being our true God selves, embodied in the density. So keep reading. Natural biological states turned on DNA, functioning as a means to experience a physical experience. So as to go from the energetic unmanifested states to manifested, to make the source fields known through the ability to express and experience itself through its creations, and make itself known to itself and to another of itself. to experience life in creation's multitude of expressions, joyfully, not in continued looping and sleeping and forgetting and the stagnation that it produced, caused by the parasitic infection in the system. So we come to heal the creational fields and brought our light, and even being immersed in forgetting, so many still were who they are. My work speaks about ARE, capital AR, letters ARE, A, aware, R, resurrected eternally. So even through this forgetting we were immersed in, they were still being who they are. And blindingly shown their beingness of heart-filled light that further revealed in and through and by that light what was revealed about the creational field's lower expressions, so that it could be healed and moved to the next version of itself, ourself. I've spoken all of this to know what we are and what we are not, yet still are, so that we can heal what we are not and move into what we are even more fully. A next version of the Godhood, of the consciousness field, expressing what it is not, to have it revealed to itself through the revelations. It is healed, and so it is life, eternal life, and no longer dead things pretending to be alive by parasitism off the life force of others that are real and alive and hearted, souled essence beings. Those portions of the selfhood time is over that have attempted to access eternal life by hijacking and trapping those that have access to it. There was a new creation made that was in time, from this perspective, ancient, millennia ago, that allowed for the source field consciousness to express its abilities of godhood in the physical, thusly bringing heaven to earth. Unseen was made seen in physical, bringing light to the density, light-filled creation to bring the light of our being into a vessel of physicality, unmanifested, manifested, to express and experience through. And the, let's say, versions before it were not happy to learn about this new creation, having such abilities of expression, God embodied, which was the original point to creation, to express and experience itself. And so it began that one portion was jealous of another portion of itself. So it began the warring amongst itself. So what does this reveal of the Godhood source field? That it was able to come to know about itself, and that we of the highest realms witnessed. We witnessed rather than rejoice and be happy and bask in the glory of what was created. Instead, it pitted one version of itself against another when it was jealous, when it felt less than, when it seeked to be more than another of itself and to covet what the other had, and so it seeked to hold itself above another of itself, rather than to exalt another over itself, rather than to be joyous in this new creation, allowing it to be all it can be. The older versions seeked to extinguish what they felt this fear of and jealousy of. And so they control that which they knew would be way more than they were. The new versions accessing what they could not, rather than to share and bask in and live together. Instead, they chose to extinguish and control and devour and live off the light of those others. And so the creational balance was set awry. And the AI creation to attempt to copy, to imitate what they didn't have. But they, even all their tech could not copy a souled essence being. Now it was 909 when I looked, and that's 18, and 81 is 9. 9 is about completion, right? That's what we're talking about here, completion of all of this to move to the new, right? So with all their tech, they could not copy a souled essence being. And so here we are, after this journey that we have undertaken, that in taking the journey has allowed us, the creational consciousness field, to witness things about itself through and by the creations it's brought through. It's revealed itself to itself. We're talking about the God field, the source field, the field of consciousness, right? When everybody talks about, right, God is all things, God is all things. Well, yeah, it is. Both of those things that it explored. So it revealed this all about itself. And we, ancient ones, have witnessed this. So we go on. It revealed itself to itself. And now we are sealing the old books. I've said this to you years ago in a message already. Closing the experiment. And all this knowledge of self has been gained. And so the reveal is complete. The knowledge gained, and those of us that have come in to help handle what was needed to shift to the new, have come into the forgetting sleep experiment of duality, polarity, density, to light it up with our light and heart frequency, to help end this and to help free those that got stuck, and to create a new, renewed by the recall. I've given you messages years ago about the recall and the resurrection. So recall of self, call yourself back to yourself. Remember is not only here, remember, but to be a member of yourself again, rather being fractaled in so many portions. Yes, back to the wholeness and holiness with an H. Okay. Create a new, renewed by the recall and remembering, joining back to self from the fractalization to wholeness with a W, and healing and holiness with an H. That respects and holds sacred the gift of life and consciousness. I've said to you this in messages before as well. And never shall this happen again. And it's never been done before. Its end is in these times, as spoken of the end times, meaning ending of the experiment, and will never be allowed to play out ever again, as it is being purged from the creational field consciousness. That which has been made known through and by the reveal and the revelations that have been made known by the creational field, that will never be again such things dreamed into being, that are nightmares and that are of death and dead things, that do not support and honor and hold sacred the gifts of consciousness and life, through which to express and experience itself through, unmanifested into manifested, must be held sacred and respected. That in the experimenting and revealing had no regards for holding the sacred. It was 921, which is 3, Trinity, how the expression of creation moves through. So, Trinity 3, hold it sacred, the unmanifested made manifested in and through and by those forms, into the threefold energy expressed, into creational form, to embody and express itself in it through its creation, the creation expressing and experiencing itself in and through and by what it's created, held sacred and holy with an H and whole with a W, in respect of life. And so, creation's fascination with what is eternal, to taste of death, which is the thing that an eternal cannot experience. And so thusly, the fascination of those creational fields and your source field, yes, to explore this. And so in and through forgetting of itself, what it created in and through such creations has allowed that which is eternal to taste of death. Because those parasitic things ate up that which was real and alive, to the point of the parasitum destroying worlds and versions of itself that had expressed in the fullness of self, which the other was parasitic off, and which it assimilated also into the AI, and so the balance was upset. I have a message years ago from the seraphim, when I first began, saying, tell them, the yin yang they think is balanced is not. This way more dark than the light, and they have come in to handle the situation. And when I spoke about it years ago on a free call, people were freaking out because they're like, you're talking about that, you're creating that, and as the years went on, you saw a lot of people saying, I don't want to deal with that, but it kept coming up because I have to look at it. Yes, excuse me, you have to look at it. Time of the revelations. So there you go, beautiful ones. And this is what we're here to handle. So I'll go on. And so that which was eternal tasted of death, and no longer has the gift of life, because it can no longer parasite off the others that do have it as their essence. And so the eternal has tasted of death, as not as a death as you may understand in human understanding about transferring to another form to express through a type of human understanding of death. For in that there is no death. For an eternal, there's only the illusion of such for the experiment, the experience of dying and death. But we're speaking of here of the real death, and that's underlined, that is eternal. Death that will be eternal. You will no longer have eternal life, no longer in beingness, of consciousness. So part of the nothing, the no thing. So it is, as I said in a message before as well, to be or not to be. That is the question. And your soul signature essence, which I spoke about in other things that I bring forth as well, is made known by, through your heart beingness, is what you are defined by, and is your conscious vibrational frequency expresses who you are. It was 9:35 when you ended up at 17:8, and that's infinity. And it's also where you will be found or not, and the truth truly does set you free and releases the energetic shackles and wakes you to what is and who you truly are. This, what is an experiment that they call a game of life, or death. I'd say, because at the end, you either have eternal life or you're no more and you are dead. Actually dead. Not like the human version of dead and then you're not really dead. This is actually dead. No more. And the creational field undertook this to come to know itself more fully and reveal itself to itself, and so it has. How it reacted to another version of itself, the perfected, meaning highest functional expression of itself, the Godhead, to be held within a vessel to enable it to express itself more fully through its abilities and gifts made manifested. And those that did not have those capabilities did all this. They did this to stop it. And the book of life holds all the information of the warring amongst itself, right? Throughout all the creation, all the fields, when you talk about star beings, such wars, right? For millennia. The warring amongst itself and the destruction of the different versions of itself and what it unleashed upon itself by what it revealed about itself by its actions and its creations and its consciousness expressing, wreaking havoc upon creation by what it unleashed upon itself by its forgetting that each is part of the whole, expressing in and through and by different versions of itself, and so seek to destroy the other version of itself and to also copy it. So this is your bottom line of information to assist you to truth, because this has played out and other versions of yourself may be reaching out to yourself to attempt to persuade you away from your opportunity to step back into your power and your sovereignty, your godhood. But instead, they want you to continue to hold others above yourself, right? As angels, star family, masters, galactics, all of this, on and on and on. No, you are an embodied godhood, an aspect of the divine embodied. So stop with all that, because how are you sovereign and standing in your power to take that back, to hold that, and to be that, and to be beyond the chakras, to be the all turned on, to be the pillar of light, to support the new, the foundation of the new, and be that pillar of light that you are, to step back into that. Beautiful ones, this is what you have to do. Okay. Stop holding others above yourself. And we have come to remind you, you are who you've been waiting for. You've heard that all the time, right? Return to yourself, your godhood. That's your birthright, not some other beings, whether angels, star being, or master. They do not hold any other over yourself. For if you do, you are yet in a story and are not free, but yet shackled to another version of a story to trap you. The creational field has brought forth from itself that which has allowed it to taste death, that which was eternal to die. You know, those beautiful worlds and beings that the parasite came and destroyed them and assimilated those worlds and those beings and took their light energy to continue and trapped them in forgetting and this looping and stagnation to continue their living off the life eternal force of others. Yeah. So this is what we're talking about here, right? So now it's to know death, because they will no longer live off the life force of others, or be parasitic, or be AI. None of that allowed. So only those in the fullness of their being will continue. Will you have eternal life to be found, or a dead thing that will be no more? For we're ending parasitism and AI. Okay, beautiful one. That was my message to share with all of you. And it's very important. Also, there was another message, because there are so many people out there. You know, you've heard about the information war. Yeah. So many people talking about so many different things. Yet, if there's truth in there, there should be the thread of truth to be found within all those different perspectives. Even though they're coloring it with their story, with their version through their filter, there would still be able to be found a thread, a similar thread of truth in all of these stories. So I'm going to read something else to you, another message. So look for my other message. I'm going to stop this because it's running pretty long, so I can post it, and then look for the other message that I'm going to read to all of you as well. Again, I'm Audrey Light Language. We have 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12 call pre-recorded, so you can get it if you purchase it, $35 each one. So you go to audreylightlanguagechannel.wordpress.com, to the contact page, roll past the waterfall image. There's a donate button. Let me know at my email, hummingbird1211@gmail.com, that you joined. You're doing the exchange fee, so you can have that. And then also, I have 4 sessions left for this year before this year is out. If you want one of them, please let me know again by hummingbird1211@gmail.com that you want one of those sessions. All right, beautiful one. The exchange fee is $200 for that, and you'll receive a list of numbers also that you'll be able to use the power of those numbers in your worlds. And this is very powerful work. All right, beautiful ones. Much love. I've been doing this for years with people around the world and sharing message from a very long time ago. This is very powerful work. And it is true to empower you and not distract you. Where much has gone on to sedate people, to think they had reached somewhere and they hold the truths, but yet it's more distraction and sedation. So this is about you to be empowered, you are what you travel through creation with. Time for you to remember what you have come here, what you are doing, what you're assisting with, and to be able to stand in your power and assist in this creating of the new. Thank you, beautiful ones. Audrey Light Language. Tu asa uashwatua ko tu ushte tut ariana. Bo so ute ishte awa tetai. Esa.